let me ask you this question. It may be nah, fuck it. So, why do Indians have a hard time drinking? Because you're Indian, you went and lived that, I want to say, quote unquote, that skater life that we lived in a skate house kind of, and we were fucking shredding or we weren't shredding, and you guys ended up partying. I see, in my opinion, I see a lot of our people, our indigenous young individuals, go and get mixed up in this Albuquerque skate scene, and they ain't ready for it. What do you think that is, and why do you think we fall victim to alcoholism?
Damn, yeah. I mean, I don't know, bro. Like for me, growing up on the res, like living in Zuni, you know what I mean? I was surrounded by alcoholics and like everyone, drinking all the time. Like to be completely honest, bro, like my dad is an alcoholic and like for a long time, like I grew up with that, you know what I mean? Like that's not really anything that's very different to me. And like I'm gonna be straight up, like I think the first time I ever tried alcohol was probably like 12 or 11, bro. Like a sip of like, not like a sip, but like I actually drank something, and like that's when I realized like damn, like I guess at that point it was kind of a changing experience of being like kind of the norm, right? Like if you grow up in that environment, it's not really anything that you think is different, but then also like you see people who are like maybe your family member, right? Or like someone that you're close to that uses alcohol as a way to like take care of how they're feeling inside, right? Like I think in that time, like when you're young or when you're just caught up in a scene, like you're just trying to fit in or you're trying to make yourself feel better, and like alcohol is something that kind of does that for you. It could be alcohol, it could be like, weed, or it could be anything else, but I think as long as you're just trying to make yourself like feel better in a way or just trying to take the edge off or but I don't know, man. I think it's different. Like I think for native people when it comes to alcohol, I think it's really just having to cope with like things that you're dealing with, but it's in the wrong way in some ways. Like you try to cope with your feeling, right? Like I always try to think about it like when you go out and celebrate compared to when you're just kicking it with the homies and you're like just drinking beers. Like there's a difference between just drinking enough to be having a good time, and then there's a difference of just drinking to a point where you're just gonna black out. Like I don't know, bro. It's a trip.
It really is, man.